Hello, folks. Welcome to the latest session of OMG Moments. Kirsty, what are we covering today?
Windows 11.
Okay, so we've just talked about this on the introduction to Windows 11. Kirsty,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I'm done. That's all I know about it. So,
Um, so just to let everybody know that Mark's doing, I was going to swear I'm not. Mark's doing zilch in this session. He'll put his two pennies worth in. I'll try and involve him, but I'm doing all the work.
yeah,
Story of my life.
I've never used it, but but I'm going to smile another lot and tell you how great they are. So, why
Yeah.
don't you share your telly and that's what we've got.
Okay. So can you see my snowy winter background,
Oh,
my desktop? What can I say?
beautiful. Is that Windows 11? I'm getting
Yes.
it. That's awesome.
I know, I love the snow. So first one, real simple one, really easy. And don't get me wrong, were ways of doing this or doing certain things in Windows. I just find that these are a lot easier. For example, if I right click anywhere on my desktop, what I can do is I can just go to view and I can go straight to the bottom here called show desktop icons. And if I click onto that, that will automatically show my desktop icons. If I right click again, go to view, show desktop icons, they vanish. Brilliant, Mark, if you've got a meeting and you just want to hide all of your rubbish on your desktop. What do you think of that one?
Really like it. So I, like you, I've used that before, but on Windows 10 you have to go the long way, don't you? It's a bit clunkier.
Yeah.
But as I share my screen, like when I'm presenting, I often don't just do PowerPoint. I do my desktops. I pull stuff across and talk about different software, and I just hide it all the time because my desktop is like a car crash, if I'm honest. But yeah, that's a great tip, and that slightly faster way into it is nice.
Yeah, I like that one. Another one. This is really a quick, simple one. And again, this has been going around for ages. This actually isn't Windows 11, but I do understand not everybody's Windows 11. But this one, really like, and it's just been carried over into Windows 11. All of your icons on your taskbar are numbered. I don't know if you're aware of that. So if I press number, let's say Windows, oh, bear with me. If I press Windows and number 4, that's going to open up, in a case, this, my Edge icon. So Windows 4 is my Edge. And what it will do is it will literally number. So here I've got number 1, which is my office. I've got number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and so on. So if I now press Windows and 6 on my keyboard, that would open up my Chrome. It's a really quick way, and I find people don't use that enough. If you're presenting on your screen, you're presenting your all of your content on the screens, and all you see is your mouse moving from one icon, one app on your taskbar. Whereas if you do it with your shortcut keys, it's seamless. Nobody can see you moving your mouse. I like that
So is that, and you might not know the answer to this, but is that
one.
for, because you got your pinned icons down there as well as the ones that you're actually working on. Does it count the pinned ones as well, or is it just the active screens?
No, all of your pins.
Oh, okay.
So it basically starts from, I think that one doesn't because that's more informational, but
Okay, yeah.
everything else, my focus, but everything else, yep, can be a pinned icon
I
or
like it.
just a normal application you've opened.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Very good.
The next one, I hate being negative, but I am actually going to be negative, and it's probably the only negative I'm going to have on Windows 11 is your desktop icon. So here, my third icon in at the bottom is what we call the desktop icon. Now, we had that in the previous version of Windows, but it actually had more functionality. So if anything, this is more of a watch out, gotcha. But here, if I click on to show desktop, what that would allow me to do, and we can see you at the moment, Mark, is I can have more than one desktop. So if, for example, I'm really busy, I've got loads of windows open, and I've now got a client meeting or I've got a presentation, I don't want to have to close down everything I've got to tidy up my environment before I do a presentation. So what I can do is I can create a brand new desktop. And that's like you switching on in the morning, you've got no windows open, but it just allows you to start afresh, for example, in that client presentation. And then once that's over, you could, if you wanted to, switch back to your previous desktop and carry on with the work that you've been working on.
So, so I'm just picturing this. So you could fire it up, get your presentations ready, what your slide deck, all the stuff, get your meeting ready to join, and then when it's time, you go over to there. And say if you're working on different clients, there's no risk of someone pinging you from here, and it just separates out all your work.
Yeah,
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 nice.
like
Right.
that one.
I like that. That's
But
very good.
the reason why I'm negative is on previous versions of Windows, it allowed you to search for work that you'd done in that desktop from previous days. That
Oh,
searchable content's not
yeah.
available.
I
Oh,
vaguely recall that. So I know that you've
yeah.
talked about this before. It's
Mm.
yeah. I can vaguely picture that screen. You could, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, really annoying.
All right.
The other one I do like is your date and time. Now, we've had date and time, haven't we, in the bottom right-hand corner for absolutely years. But what you can do now is if you go and right-click on your date and time, you can go to adjust date and time, these options here. If I click onto that, what I can do, and I'm going to scroll right to the bottom, is I can now have additional clocks. So if you are working with clients, with customers that may be in different time zones. Yes, I know you can do this on Outlook, but this is a quick view. What I can do is I can turn that on. I can even go in and say what time zones I want. I've just put 2 in as an example here. But what will happen is now, whenever I hover over my date and time in the bottom right-hand corner, she says it will come up. What should happen is it will then come up. It's going a bit slow, Mark, so my apologies. I need to be patient. I can now see all the different time zones, including mine own.
Yeah, I like it, and I know that you have the pleasure at the moment of having to actually need that functionality.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, I like that. Very good.
yeah, really good. We like that one.
Very nice.
Um,
Oh, you got
oh,
more
go
personal
on.
information on that screen.
What did I?
Yeah, it's got
Oh,
your email address. I take it you'd like me to fuzz that out, right?
if you don't
For
mind.
those of you who watch these ones, you'll hear me having. Should we start calling them Miss Piggy moments, where I just get so. Where you showed loads last week. It took me ages to fuzz all that out. Where you show your
Sorry.
personal. She does it. She talks about Mark not doing any work. She shows her email address, other people's names, all sorts of information, and I have to then sit there, kind of fuzz it out in the video software. What else
Otherwise,
you
I
got
get
to
hate
discuss?
mail. That's why. Search bar. So bottom left-hand corner. Um, we've always had search or some type of search, but I believe you can do more in here, and it's a little bit easier and a bit more intuitive to use. And you've also got your Windows icon. Now, if I click onto my Windows icon, they have changed the way that it looks and feels. So if you remember right, it used to have, if well, you don't need to remember, you've still got it, Mark, but you've got all your apps on the left-hand side
Yeah.
and then listed, and then you've got some shortcuts to those apps on the right-hand side. Slightly different now here. What you will see is I've got all apps in the top right-hand corner. And if I go to all apps, that will then go to that list. But
Ah.
what does annoy me is I've got to then scroll up and down. And sometimes, yes, I can type into search, but actually what is quite handy, and it's just another way now, I can click onto any of the letters of the alphabet. So I always tend to go to A because that's the one I can see. But I click onto A, that gives me an alphabetical list. And then, for example, I could go and see all the apps that begin with a P, click
Ah.
onto P, and it shows me those.
That's cool.
Yeah,
It's quicker than scrolling, right? Especially if it's like
maybe.
if you've had your computer for a while. There's so much stuff on there, isn't there? So, Packet Man
Yeah.
Cat, is that part of you install that, or is that part
That's
of?
my niece.
Oh,
I'll
okay, right.
blame it on her.
Yeah, yeah, do that.
Yeah. We've also got search. If you click onto search, as I said before, oh gosh, you're going to have to do fuzzing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's fine.
So just be aware, on the left-hand side, it does give you a list of recent, and I do tend to use this quite a lot, I have to say. Just find that quick and easy. On the right-hand side, it gives you more information about, for example, the company you're working for. It shows you who you're working for, so do have a look at that. That's quite good. And then also you can type here to search. And again, we've had that for quite some time. It's just in a different layout and a different format, but I like that one, Mark.
I do like. So I see you're logged in to this computer. That login is currently set up for uh, for that company, and I like actually
Mm,
it shows that in this screen here, it shows
yeah.
the people around you, and you can see that it looks like it's integrating much better with Microsoft 365.
Yeah.
So that from a work point of view, this looks really nice. I'm just picturing this coming into the workplace. And some of that integration, I think, looks great. And I know that folks, I do apologise, you won't be able to see what I'm talking about. I need to fuzz it out because it's got people's real details in there and company details. But I really think I really like looking at that. I'm just thinking about work. That looks good.
Yeah, and everybody can do that. So even though you fuzzed it out, if anybody's got Windows 11 goes in, it makes complete sense when you see it
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's all about the people you work with.
yeah.
So it's pretty obvious. I suppose it's like a mini delve to a
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
point,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
maybe.
yeah, yeah. It sounds good. Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I'm trying to think now. So the other thing is settings. So I will warn you, settings has changed. So if I now go into settings, and again, I do understand it depends what version of Microsoft you've come from, as in Windows. But if I click onto settings now, everything you had before, you've still got. They've just put them probably in a different format. Some things have changed. So for example, if you used to use the night light, we have the night light, but they've now called it in a different function.
What's the night light?
Oh, I don't know. This is why I'm panicking because I can't remember what it's called now, so bear with me. So here, I've got my nightlight here, but when I click onto nightlight now, it's not what it used to
A
be.
bit of
So you
show
now
icons.
change the strength, you can schedule it, and you can do it between sunset and sunrise.
Ah,
So
so that's it. Taking out the blue light, so that you
that's
can
the
get to
word.
bed early. Yeah, okay, that's
Thank
cool.
you. Blue light. So it's now called nightlight. My apologies, couldn't remember that one.
Oh, was that blue light? Oh, was that blue light in 10? Was it? Do you know what?
Yeah, I think so.
Just
I
while we're
don't
chatting, I'm just
know.
going to check on my screen just while we're checking. Um,
Because I'm doing all the work, Mark. Do you know what I mean? My brain's full of facts and figures,
yeah.
and I can't cope with any additional information.
Okay,
So keep it.
yeah, so I think it's called night light. Yeah, it's called night light over there as well. But I'm sure it used to be called blue light. But anyway, it doesn't
Well, I
matter.
thought it did, but anyway, hey, hey. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know.
But
I've
I'm just
lost the plot
comparing.
on that.
Look how nice that is. Right, so I'm just going to put. I know you can't see this, Kirsty,
Mm.
but I'm just showing the people that the other settings for it, and we got it's just so the settings were so clunky looking before. It's so
Mm,
much nicer now. It's such a nicer experience.
I agree with you. It's like mouse settings. My biggest one, which we had in previous versions, would allow you to put the echo pointer on. And the
Yeah,
echo pointer, which I'm sure Mark and I use all the time,
all the
is
time.
when you press your control key and it flashes this echo so people know where you are on your screen. Now, used to do it on a different way. Now we just go to mouse settings, and then within mouse settings, you can scroll down and everything to do with your mouse settings is now listed. I just find this so much easier. Um,
Oh.
but what I can do is I can go to additional mouse settings here. And then what is strange, it takes me back to, gosh,
Back to old clunky one. No, that's like from Windows. That reminds me of like Windows NT. It's like going
I
back
know.
forever.
I know. Pointer options at the top, and then you've got your echo pointer there. So I do find it quite bizarre. And I suppose all Microsoft functionality has done this, where you start off with this brand new screen and you think, oh my God, this is really good. And then as you get further down and you
Yeah,
drill down, you go back to an old window
yeah.
anyway.
It's
So,
just yeah. Someone didn't bother updating that screen yet, but they probably will. You know, I hear a lot of talk about the new File Explorer and also they're going to work. I'm sure they're going to work through all of those old screens.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, but
Sticky notes is a good one, Mark. Do you use sticky notes?
no, I can't be honest. I don't.
Uh,
I use
so
actual sticky notes. I've got a pile of them here somewhere.
post-it notes, which they can't call them
Oh,
post-it notes because it's a trade name.
don't
But
don't say that, Chris. We're going to get
no,
video banned
yeah, sorry,
for
sorry.
someone's trademark.
So we'll call them sticky notes. So these are sticky notes, but I do believe they've really, really changed them. I've just done some gobbledygook in here. But what sticky notes will allow you to do is to have these sticky notes to remind yourself to do things. But what is brilliant now in Microsoft 365, these will automatically synchronize if you've got 365 on your mobile. So if you put a sticky note on here on your laptop, if you're out and about with your phone, you'll see those sticky notes on your phone and vice versa.
Yeah,
So that's really good.
yeah. So I'm picturing actually. You said the vice versa bit. I'm picturing someone pops into your head, make
Mm,
a quick note, and then it appears on your computer before it disappears out your head, and you've forgotten what that great idea was you had. So yeah,
yeah,
that sounds good.
yeah, we like that one. And then you get this pane now. So you get this sticky notes pane and you can do searches. So for example, if you have got a lot of sticky notes and rather than you scrolling up and down, what you can do now is you can literally just type in. So if I type in, oh, she says if I could spell reminder, you'll notice now it's only brought up that one sticky note.
I like it. Good mantra for the
Yeah,
day
I
as well.
like that.
Wasn't there something? I remember you telling the Inform team about this, a session you did for them ages ago. Wasn't there something about the new sticky notes that annoyed you? Was there some bit of functionality that was going? And I'm putting you on the spot because, for folks, these are very fluid. These are we deliberately don't script these so that they got like
Look
a
at
bit more
Mark
life
put
about
me
them.
on the step on the
On the
spot.
spot.
That's what
So
it
I'm
is,
sure
isn't it?
there was something. Wasn't there
So
something
there
we did right?
is.
Right.
So
Right.
go on.
Stop sharing that screen. What's that? You've just clicked up. Click away
I'm
from
not
that.
showing anything on my screen, so it's gone a bit doolally.
Oh, do you know what? It's me. It's me showing my screen. So I've got to go for some of my own stuff now. Okay, yeah, that doesn't matter. So we'll move on from that. I just thought there was something about the new
There
version
is.
that you hated.
There is. So what you used to be able to do with sticky notes, which I thought was really good, is let's say somebody called me and they wanted to pass a message on. It might be the case that I've written something, a sticky note, and then I suddenly realised you need to be made aware of it, Mark. I could literally drag sticky notes into an email. I could drag sticky notes wherever I wanted, and we can't do that. Really annoys me.
Yeah, that was nice. What sounds about
Really
it.
annoys me.
Yeah.
The next one is look what's happened. I've now got dictate. Now this is unbelievable. So in Windows 11, you can now press Windows, your Windows key on your keyboard, and H for hotel. And what that will do is to bring up your dictate, which now means you can use dictate in any functionality in Microsoft you want. So if, for example, I didn't want to type in a sticky note, I can literally go into sticky notes just to prove the point. Go to sticky notes. Let me go and create a new note. So I'm going to go into my notes list. And let's say I wanted to add to that note. I wanted to create a new note. But whatever I want to do, I can now go in and create a new note. So I'm just going to open that note. I'm going to click onto the plus here on the left-hand side and let me create a new note. And the reason being is I can now use this dictate in a note. So Windows H, as I said before, press Windows H now. And what that will do will listen to me. Now, there is a delay, and I apologise purely because I'm on a Teams call at the same time, but it's now putting all of this text in as in transcribing my audio. Now, I'm going to switch that off, but how good is that? Now, don't get me wrong, you've still got to check your text
Yeah, but
because it's not going to do it.
that is excellent. Does that work in any app?
Yes, it works in Teams, it works in Notepad, anything. Unblinking believable.
I think you might have peaked.
I know, that is a really good one.
Yeah.
Certainly in Teams. So now, instead of you thinking about, well, actually, no, that's a lie. You know, for me, I have so much. That's why I sometimes start stuttering and I don't spit my words out correctly because my brain is thinking of all this information I want to say, but I can't say it quick enough or I can't type it quick enough, certainly with typing. So at least it allows me to get it out of my brain and say it rather than trying to type.
Yeah.
You would use that one, wouldn't you, Mark?
Yeah, definitely. See, I just let's say that you're doing a new guide, or if I'm writing a blog post or whatever, it's just easier just to click that, just go blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
quickly correct it and done. I think that is amazing, and I see lots of uses for that. Whether it's usability, accessibility, just making it easier for people if you're slow at typing. I just see so many different groups find that useful. I love that.
Yeah. Did you want me to do one more, or is that it?
Right, so I think you have peaked, but if you've got another one in you,
Leave it.
Oh, I don't know, mate. What's the other one you're going to do?
Well, I like scrolling in active windows, but it sounds really boring, but it's really easy and helpful.
Go on then.
Go on then.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you have peaked. This is not going to be as good. I don't care what this is. It's not going to be as good as that last one because that last one was great. I don't care. There's nothing you can do that's going to be better than that last one. Come on, what you got?
Right. So I got a new document in Word. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm also going to open up Excel. And this happens to a lot of us, as we know. So I've now got Word and I've got Excel open. And what I could do is, like we're talking, you can snap them side by side if you want to.
I'm just laughing, Kirsty, because I'm quickly seeing all these flashes of people's names and work documents. We've got to find a way to start doing these, not in our work environments. We need to have a proper chat about that.
Sorry. So if I go to my settings, I'm just going to actually go into search and I'm going to start typing in scroll. And as soon as I've got scroll, you'll notice I've got scroll in active windows. Now it's a real basic function, but oh my gosh, it just pack a punch. As in, I will warn you, it's on default as off. So let me just switch that off just for a second. If I'm now in Word, I can now use my scroll bar on my mouse and I can move up and down the screen.
I see that bar
But
go
if,
up and down, yeah.
yep, so that, can you see that mark on the
Yeah,
screen?
yeah, got it.
If I go to Excel and hover over, what's happening? It's still moving Word, but I'm in Excel. But it won't physically allow me to move in Excel until I physically click, then I can move up and down. Whereas if I go into search, type in and scroll, I'm going to go back to scroll in active windows when I hover over them and switch that to on. Now I've switched that on. If I now close that screen down, whatever window I hover over, I'm not clicking, I can scroll up and down that screen. It sounds silly, but it's so useful if you're working with multiple applications.
So I spend a lot of time between apps comparing stuff, and you know what, mate? You know what? Actually, maybe that is as good as the previous one. I do like
I
that a
know,
lot.
it's
Yeah,
really
it's
good,
really
isn't
good.
it?
So not everyone will find a use for that, but I personally spend a lot of time in and out. So Kirsty, do me a favour, just flick your camera off and back on again for me, please. Yeah,
Oh,
so
you were quite pleasant about that last one we did. You shouted at me.
I didn't shout at you.
Am I back?
I was, yes, you are back. I was animated. I said it was payback for all
Miss
the
Piggy?
grief you give me. I was doing a Miss Piggy as
Yeah.
payback for all the grief you give me. Folks, you have no idea the grief I get off Kirsty when we're working together. Yes, it is tiresome. You're right.
Very boring. Very boring.
Are we done, mate?
Yeah, we're done.
All right, so folks, thank you very much for watching out. I found that genuinely helpful, and actually, I think I will take the plunge and upgrade to Windows 11. It looks like it is time for me. So there you go. There's some tips for stuff that's new in Windows 11, stuff that you could do in Windows 10, but now how you do it in Windows 11 and how much nicer it is. Folks, please subscribe if you find these helpful. If you want us to cover anything, put a note in the chat. But for now, we're done, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Mark. Bye.